Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome yet again to today's show of Lunch Guide. My name is Chef Andy and I will be taking you through a beautiful dish that we're going to be making today. We're going to be making our own pita pockets, we're going to be making some hummus, and then we're going to just finish this off by plating it beautifully as a pita bread. Without further ado, I'm just going to start with the ingredients in front of us today. So from the front I have some olive oil, some black pepper, some salt, some oregano, some garlic, some lettuce, some parsley and some coriander. And then I've got some julienne carrots, red peppers and cucumber. I've got some all-purpose flour which I'll be using for dusting. I've got some beautiful dough here that we made earlier. So in the dough goes in a bit of milk, a bit of salt, sugar and yeast. I also have some chickpeas here that we had cooked earlier, which I'm going to show you how we are going to turn into a sauce. And last but not least, some beautiful lemons to give it that citrus finish. So without further ado, we are going to jump into a short break. Take this time to grab your pens, grab your cookbooks, and let's get cooking. See you after the short break. Welcome back again, ladies and gentlemen. I am Chef Andy and you're tuned into Lunch Guide. For those who missed our introduction bit, we're going to be playing with some pita bread today. We're going to be making some hummus and we're going to be turning that into a beautiful pita sandwich. So without further ado, I'm just going to start with the pita here. So remember the dough we had initially made, we have already knocked it down the first time, so we're just going to roll it out and we're going to finish it off in the pan. So I'll show you how that's done. First things first, get your burner lit, bring it to about medium to low heat, just let your pan continue, and then in the meantime I'm just going to grab our nice beautiful dough there. As you can see, nice, soft, malleable. So all I'm going to do is dust my board and pat the dough down a little bit, turn it around once, dust it again, and all I'm going to do is use my rolling pin to bring it to shape. So very simple technique. I recommend when you're doing this, please don't roll your dough so thin like you would for a wrap. Remember, we want it to puff up, so we are not going to go anywhere beyond about 6 centimeters in diameter. And for those who did not understand that last statement, so diameter would be the full length of the dough, so would be one end to the other. So this measures out to about 7 or 8 centimeters. So this is ideal for the purpose we want to use it for. I'm just going to roll out the other piece. All I'm going to do is, with the aid of my wooden rolling pin, just gonna bring it to similarly the same thickness and the same size. Right, ladies and gentlemen, very simple technique. As you can see, even good sizes. The thickness should be about, let's say about 1/3 centimeter thick. The total diameter, as I mentioned as well, should be between about 7 and 8 centimeters. This gives you an ideal space for you to be able to actually get it to puff up. So in a hot pan, in a not very hot pan, but with no oil, I'm just going to throw the pitas in there. So now all we're going to do is we're going to cook them on each side. We're just going to allow the pita to actually form the pocket, which is where all our filling is going to be going in. So as you can see from the cameras there, you can be able to already see that the dough just starts to swell up from the middle. All I'm going to do is I'm just gonna give my pan a nice little whirl. That's just to allow a beautiful amount of color to get onto our pita bread, and as well to get as much heat to get right through it so that we can get that nice beautiful pocket. Right, and while this is going, we're just going to grab our chickpeas that we had made earlier. So remember, to this bowl there is some chickpeas that we cooked in earlier in some olive oil, some red pepper paste, and a bit of water. We allowed that to cook until the kernel started to fall off, and we took it off the heat. We allowed it to cool, and it's still in its juices. So I'm just going to grab my blender here. Right, and without leaving the site of your pita pocket, it's now nicely puffed up. Just gonna give that a turn, and as you can see, nice beautiful golden color coming through. Right, so in our jug here that's gonna go into our blender, I'm just going to go with the chickpeas. Be sure to leave out the liquid before you get to the end process of it. Just reserve a bit of liquid just to aid you in pureeing the mixture. Right, so we're just gonna fill that halfway. To that I'm going to add some garlic. I'm going to add some salt. I'm going to add a bit of pepper for taste. So this is just regular black pepper powder. And then I'm going to add a bit of olive oil, about 1 tablespoon. And then I'm just going to go in with a bit of cilantro. Right, easy peasy. We're just going to throw that in the blender in a little bit. The other end, we're just going to take our wrap now. So this is now cooked through on both sides. And as you can see, nice beautiful golden color there. I'm just gonna go in with the second piece, and we're just gonna cook it the same way. Right, so in the blender goes in the chickpeas. Just gonna blend that on this side. Right, so as you can be able to see, nice thick paste, but we want it to be a little runnier. So I'm just going to use my spoon to get a bit of that reserved liquid we had left over earlier. I'm just going to add that in there. Remember, never chuck all that liquid. It always comes handy right before you think you don't need it anymore. So please never just chuck your liquid all at once. Right, so the next piece of pita here, nicely colored on one side, we're gonna turn it around. For the chickpeas, we're gonna just blitz that a little more. Right, as you can see, nice, beautiful, thick consistency. Now our pitas are just about done. It's gonna set off the pan now. It's gonna give that a bit of time to cool off. And now to the mixture that we had earlier from the hummus, I'm just going to squeeze a bit of lemon juice in there for flavor. So the beautiful thing about using fresh squeezed lemon juice as opposed to bottled lemon juice, it's got a better pungency to it. It just definitely does the job for you. Also manages to bring all the flavors up from the mixture that you made earlier. So lemon juice is definitely the way to go. Fresh lemons is definitely the way to go when you're trying to bring that sauce to that beautiful finish. Right, so lemon juice in there, just 1 full lemon. Just gonna blend that again. So our chickpea mixture is definitely done. We're just going to move that to a bowl here on the side. And as you can see, nice, beautiful, creamy. It just runs off the bowl there. Right, and I'm just going to use a spoon to scoop out all that excess that's left over. All right, so viewers at home, viewers watching today, for those who missed out on the ingredients that we were working with today, we were working with some chickpeas, some cilantro in here, some salt, some pepper, and some olive oil. So this has managed to give us a definitely beautiful looking hummus mixture. And then to my left here, I have some bread that we have just finished doing on the pan. Remember, this was done without oil. Definite simple mixture that you can be able to make yourselves. So what we're going to do now is we're going to slide straight into a short commercial break, and when we come back, we're just going to assemble the pita. I'm going to show you how to get that pocket open, and then we're just going to finish and plate our beautiful, beautiful dish. See you in a short while. Don't touch that dial. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back from the short break. For those who missed out on what we were doing today, we are actually making some hummus and some pita, and we're doing it from home. For those who missed out on what we were doing earlier, we made some hummus. We have some beautiful cut vegetables here which we're going to be using for our filling. We have some beautiful pita there that we made earlier, and then last but not least, I have some salt, some pepper, some olive oil, some beautiful blanc chickpeas with the kernels removed. I've got a bit of oregano and a bit of salt there. So without further ado, I'm just gonna take you into the finishing bit of the dish. So all you need at this stage is a nice sharp knife. And now all you're going to do is you're just going to open up your pocket. So all I do is put an incision about midway in the center there, and all I do is work the knife right around into a semicircle. So we're not going to go all the way around, we're just going to go until we reach our halfway mark. Right, and there we go, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, your pita just opens up on its own. You may have to enforce opening it a little bit, but as you can see, definitely what we were looking for. I'm just gonna do the same thing with the other one. So remember, we're just going to make the incision halfway around the pita bread. Remember, the idea here is to just create a pocket where we're gonna put all our filling into. Right, and as you can see, beautiful pocket the same way. Right. So now all we're going to do now is we're just going to start filling our pita. And for this stage, you will need just two things. You will just need a spoon that will aid you in spreading out the hummus around the bread. So just grab your your pita. And all you're going to do is take one nice dollop of the hummus and spread it right on the inside. So be generous with this process, because remember, there is nothing else to accompany the dish. So definitely give it a nice bit of sauce in there. And I'm just going to do the same with the other piece. So about 2 dollops of hummus in there. Just gonna spread it out with a spoon. All right, so nice, beautiful pitas there, almost done now. So for the last bit of the filling process, we're just going to now go in with all our vegetables. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in with some of my lettuce. Right, and then I'm just go with some of my carrots, a bit of the onions there, a bit of the red julienne peppers, all the way in there, a bit of the carrots. All right, simple as that. So all we are going to do is now move that onto our plate, and we're gonna do the same thing with the other pita. So I'm just gonna open that up. And we're gonna do the same thing. Remember, you're not limited to using the ingredients on the show today. You can always work with your own different fillings if you prefer. Right? So nice fillings there, very fresh. Remember to always cut this just before time. Don't cut them too early in time. Right, just to finish that off with the cucumbers. And easy peasy. So you just give it a push with your tongs there, or by hand if you prefer. And I just tuck it into the bread like that. Right, so easy peasy goes onto our plate the same way we did with the first one. So very easy technique of getting a nice beautiful dish out of some hummus, getting a nice beautiful treat for your lunch, for your days that you're taking these things to work. Maybe if you're looking for a snack to have in between your shifts, this is not a bad idea. So last but not least, just going to spoon a bit of hummus on our plate there. And I'm just gonna spread it with a spoon. So ladies and gentlemen, very simple, easy, beautiful, healthy dish you can be able to make for yourselves at home. As I mentioned earlier, please don't feel left out in case you don't have most of the ingredients that we have here today. But just for the record, most of the things that we have used today are easy to find in your regular supermarkets, in your small retail stores around your neighborhood. You should be able to get most of everything that we use today. All right. So just to finish that off, so we're just going to grab a nice clean bowl here. I'm just going to show you what to do with that extra bit of hummus if you're looking to serve it on the side. So all I'm going to do is put a couple spoonfuls in a bowl like that. And all I'm going to do is use the back of my spoon, and I'm just gonna go around. So all I'm looking for is a nice beautiful spiral design that's just going to form on the surface. And then all I'm going to do now is use some of my kennel out chickpeas that we steamed earlier. And I'm just gonna drop a few of those all over the surface like that. Very, very easy. Just gonna grab some oregano, sprinkle that on top. Last but not least, a bit of pepper, a bit of salt, and then just a beautiful drizzle of olive oil right on the surface like that. And you can always just finish that off with a nice beautiful garnish of your coriander there. So ladies and gentlemen, homemade pita with some hummus, very easy to make at home. Something that you can be able to make for your kids, you can be able to make for a snack that you want to take with yourself to work. So from my end, it's been a pleasure hosting the show for you guys today. Definitely visit our Facebook page, leave your comments, leave your inquiries, leave any recommendations or any questions you have for us on the show. It's been a pleasure from me, Chef Andy, and from BrandPlus TV. It's been a pleasure being with you today. So from my end and from yours, have a lovely day.